so the latest that we have on the Pac-12 is that the streaming percentage is a huge problem in the TV rights deal. It's a big problem because most of these schools, some describe it as more than half, so 6 of 10 of the remaining Pac-12 schools do not want more than 50% of their games on stream. And the biggest concern is their ability to monetize and their ability to recruit. And I think that makes all the sense in the world. Because as a society, as much as I think we all are streaming, and as much as our kids and their friends don't watch cable, satellite, they don't, as adults and the people that are actually buying most of the tickets and who are legacy donors and who buy season tickets, which is not cheap in college sports, those are still TV and cable subscribers. So you have this paradox. Now, in 5 years, when this deal expires, you're going to be at a different place. But 6 of the 10 of these members don't want more than 50% of streaming.
Yeah.
We know that. And there is a significant discord in the conference right now where most people believe that Arizona and Colorado continue to destabilize these conversations. And I think there is some hesitation, at least that's the word that was used to describe the feeling having President Robbins on the board of directors, because the Carol Folt situation at USC, when she was the most powerful president in the conference, hoodwinked everybody and went to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And absolutely shut down Pac-12 expansion. When they had a chance to really get after the Big 12, Carol Folt at USC said, no, we're not going to expand, and then almost quite literally turned around and joined the Big Ten. And I think there's a lot of people in this conference who don't appreciate the language that President Robbins and Jed Fish recently used. I'm told that Jed Fish podcast interview he did, where he talked about, hey, we're going to be somewhere, and right now, like that line that says, right now our feet are on the ground, from Jed Fish, the football coach at Arizona, really pissed some people off.
Arizona's going to have a place to go. And that's what I tell our recruits.
Be all right.
That's what I tell our donors. That's what I tell our families of current personnel. We have a great brand. And we have a great basketball program, we have a great softball program, a great baseball program, and I believe we have the opportunity to have an incredible football program.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Where we play our road games, we'll wait and see for our president. But we are locked in and loaded for this season, and we're going to try to just be where our feet are, which is right now in the Pac-10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That particular line, I was told, was really tweaked some people in the Pac-12. We're going to try and be where our feet are. And I think I would be tweaked too if I were Arizona State, if I were Utah, if I were most of the other members in this conference that are loyal to this conference, that Arizona's football coach said, we're going to try to be where our feet are. That's a big deal. And then after that interview, it comes out that, Bobby Robbins is joining the board of directors. It's a bad look for the conference.
Absolutely.
And I think you're starting to see that people are struggling to trust Arizona and certainly Colorado. And while I don't believe that there's a single member, and I will die on this hill apparently, I don't believe there's a single member of this conference that's eager to leave. I don't think any of the 10 remaining members of this conference are like, yep, can't wait to get out of this dump.
Right.
I just don't believe that. Phil DiStefano, the chancellor of Colorado, has gone out of his way over the last 10 days to say repeatedly, we are committed to the remaining members of the Pac-12. But I think if this number comes in low and it's an equity play for Colorado and they can make more money and get more reach, I think Colorado's going to bail.
Yeah.
And I think Arizona's not far behind him. And I do believe that Arizona and Colorado are currently part of what is destabilizing this conference. And I think we debated this in our pre-show meeting today. Did Rick George, the athletic director at Colorado, bailing on Pac-12 Football Media Day last Friday, he gave a statement and then he was walking away talking to some reporters and then left. got on a plane and flew back to Colorado. And a lot of people took that as a sign that he didn't care. I don't know what it was, frankly. But what I do know is he wasn't excited to stick around. And he may have had whatever event he had to go to that he said, hey, that might be true. But again, it's a bad look from Colorado, who's already viewed as a member of this conference. It doesn't necessarily love the conference. I think it's a bad look. And I do believe that Arizona and Colorado are destabilizing the conference, as some sources have told us. And I think the longer this drags on from a relational standpoint, meaning school-to-school relationships in the Pac-12, I think it's bad for business. Because I think the longer this drags on, the TV industry is going to come back to the Pac-12 a little bit, but I don't know how long you have before somebody pulls the pin on the grenade.
Well, yeah, and I think you can only make so many mistakes so often before you're really going to start to struggle. And I look at Media Day as a mistake. I think, last week we spent
I would agree with that.
A ton of time on the show talking about what George did and did not do. I don't think he helped himself or the conference. I think this thing with Rick George is, it is what it is, dude. It
is what it is.
Like, I don't know what you say about it. I mean, again, as he said, we talked about it before the show, and I do feel like saying because he left early that's a sign they're leaving the conference is going too far. I think if we're going to speculate that far, we might as well sit here and roll out some nonsense about Dion, conveniently scheduling surgery on Pac-12 Media Day, right? I mean, if we're going to go that far. So I'm not quite willing to say that because he left Media Day early, that they're just automatically leaving the conference. But yeah, it's a bad look for any of your head coaches or ADs to be doing the least amount of work possible. It's like what I said about West Virginia at Big 12 Media Days, right? Where you don't want to talk because your football program is terrible. It's trash this year, so you don't want to talk.
Yeah.
So what did you do? You rolled up and you did your local little radio hits, and then you left.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what guys do.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing from West Virginia, to be honest with you. You could have been better than that. John Evans says, truth is there's no school worth adding from a football standpoint. Oh, I think Colorado is worth adding. I think Arizona football is worth adding. I think Arizona is worth adding. I think the 55 million pound gorilla in the room is the Utah Utes are absolutely worth adding.
Yeah.
If you could have any of those schools, you would today, right now, say, yeah, come on in. Come on in. Yeah, you can sleep on my couch. Actually, why don't I sleep on the couch? You can have the bed. Like, you would welcome any of them into your Big 12 home. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I other than that, I think you're looking at Gonzaga and you're looking at UConn.
Mm-hmm.
I still think South Florida is a tremendous jewel out there. I think that Tulane's an interesting one because I don't know that I would call that a value add. I think their football program's great. I think their all-around sports program is good. And I think their academics are on point. I think they are probably the best academic availability in all of college sports.
Yeah.
Any P5 would be better academically for having Tulane. But I think uniquely they're a really good fit in the Pac-12. Almost, if only because of the academics. Almost. But you look at their football, you look at their basketball, you look at their baseball and softball programs, like you look at their stadium, you look at their facilities, you look at their donors, like there's a lot to really like about Tulane. And they have a certain swagger about them. I happen to be a huge fan of their uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter at all. Does not mean a thing. Far more meaningful is Stephen Noyes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hello. Thank
Sorry,
you.
my bad. Sorry,
New
I had to
member.
whip it out here.
Everybody welcome Stephen to the membership. If you want to support the show, hit the join button on YouTube. You can join for $1.99, which gets all your comments read. $10.99 gets you into our members-only Instagram group where you can beat down Tanner Plummer, who refuses to acknowledge that English football is better than MLS, which he says is the best football in the world.
Because it's garbage.
Hey, everybody experiments with hallucinogens. I get it. You're trying to be like Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I understand it. But we have a great discourse in our in our members-only group on Instagram. $10.99 a month. We'll add you to that as well. So appreciate you guys supporting the show. Let's run through some comments here. On the Monty Show, Christopher Shannon says, MLS. We get it. We get it. We get it. Saul Goodman says, welcome, Steve. Truck Stop Gumby says, Aaron Rodgers, greater than soccer. Yes, he is.
You're Aaron fucking Rodgers.
MJ says, Colorado destabilized the Big 12 too in the past, always California dreaming. Would they do it again once Dion has moved on? If you move to the Big 12, you're never going back.
Yeah.
You're never going back. But again, I'm the one of the people that believes wholeheartedly Nebraska and Colorado, I think if they could go back and do it again, would not leave the Big 12. Or Big 8, depending on how old you are. I believe that Nebraska, while the money's good, has toiled and suffered in the Big 10. National irrelevance, right? And I think Colorado just has never gotten off the ground in the Pac-12. I mean, it's certainly from an athletic standpoint, it's been a wreck. Now, revenue-wise, all that other stuff, okay. But from an athletic standpoint, it's been an absolute wreck.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And I almost say the same thing about Utah, because I just think Utah is stuck in a really awkward spot where we all know they deserve better. We all know the football program is one of the best programs in the country that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
We all know, being supporters of the Pac-12, just how special Kyle Whittingham and his staff is. We all know how good Brant Keithy is. We all know what an absolute beast Cam Rising is. We all know what a stud, Cole Bishop is. Nobody else knows that.
Right.
Because you're up in Salt Lake City and you don't have a TV deal that gets you reach. And when you're on TV, and much to Utah's credit, when you're on TV, the fan base turns out and watches. When you're in big games, the fan base turns out and watches.
Well, and I think you've done a great job of consistently being in big games.
I would agree with that.
I think that, again, that loss to Florida was all anyone wanted to talk about for, 2 weeks? Probably nationally. Locally, still talking about it, but nationally, I think you got 2 weeks out of that.
I'm telling you now, this is a critical. This Florida game coming up for Utah is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge for Utah. They got to win a non-conference game, and the Pac-12 really needs it. This season has to be good for the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Has to be good. Kenneth Maynor, UConn is a better fit in the ACC. BC, Syracuse, Pitt, Louisville are better partners. UConn football was a laughingstock and a doormat in the AAC. Yes, it was. And
because it's garbage.
Again, I'll just ask about SMU. I say the same thing about SMU. Are you really, you're telling me you have all this money. You have this huge collective. And SMU is ready to come in and compete in the Pac-12. Then why aren't you competing in the AAC? Why aren't you winning the conference? Why aren't you dominating? And people are like, well, we have all this money and we have all these donors, all hat, no oil. Like, okay. So if that's the case, why don't you have the best stadium in the conference? Why don't you have the best facilities in the conference? Why don't you have the best uniforms in the conference? Why isn't Dallas the home of SMU? Like, Dallas belongs to SMU because they've got all the oil money, and because it's not. It's not. And I look at somebody, I think this is an excellent point. UConn football is a decade away. If they start today, UConn football is a decade away from competing in the Big 12. A decade away.
It's tough.
It's the same. You're in the same position as SMU.
Yeah.
Utes Man 92, welcome as our newest member on the show.
Go, baby!
Let's go!
Strong start to the program.
Appreciate you. Let's go. Appreciate that. Utes Man, make sure you DM Jake on Instagram, SLC Jake.
DM me.
SLC Jake. He'll get you into the group. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Love when you guys become members. Thank you for supporting the show. Stephen Smith gives us $20 to say you guys should come to Ames, Iowa for the 100th anniversary for Jack Trice against TCU on October 7th. I think you guys would have a good time and get some experience of Big 12 football. Look, I love Ames. Growing up in the Midwest, I am already sick of Iowa. I truly am. Ames, Iowa.
Is it the cornfields?
Is it the cornfields? Does Ames even has better corn mazes? I love Iowa.
Yeah.
The state would seem not Iowa, not university, not Iowa City.
You said Iowa University sucks.
I said ayahuasca. I just call it. I call Iowa. I
Aaron
love
fucking Rodgers.
Yeah, ayahuasca. It's not Iowa. Not like the. Okay, I would love to come to Ames.
Yeah.
Ames is a lovely, lovely place.
Don't lie to me.
Couple updates for you from the TV side of the Pac-12 TV deal. We were told without any hesitation, Ion Scripps is not now and has not been for some time involved in the Pac-12 TV deal negotiations, and we were told they never really were in serious conversations about football, that there were some intermediate conversations about other programming, as it was described to us. But there's all these rumors out there that Ion Scripps is the new back-to-the-table partner, and it is not. As we reported last week exclusively on the show, Amazon Prime Sports and the Pac-12 have had recent conversations, although I am told that those have not been pen to paper. Hey, let's do a deal. And frankly, I continue to hear that it is a real mix of partners involved in this Pac-12 TV deal. And I was also told that there is just some other conversations happening inside the conference, and they're trying to add as much revenue, really, and they're penny pinching the revenue to try and get the largest number they can. And I think there is a split based on conversations I've had. I think there is a split in this conference between George Kliavkoff and his team that are out trying to negotiate this deal with distribution partners and this new executive, this board of directors, rather. I think the two sides have very deep disagreements about what the Pac-12 is worth.
Yeah.
And I think George Kliavkoff is trying to sell a smaller deal. And I think the presidents and the board of directors are not interested in a smaller deal. And I think that's what the delay is. I still maintain that there was never any deal that was imminent. I do believe that August feels like unless something of just a shocking nature happens, I think we are at least 10 days away.
Yeah.
And
Clock's taking the kickoff, bro.
We're 30 days away from week 0.
Yeah.
That's the window that the Pac-12 has to operate in. Because I've also been pretty strongly told that if the Pac-12 doesn't have a deal by week 0, you're going to lose Arizona and Colorado. That is the common belief amongst the TV world and amongst Pac-12 sources that we routinely talk to. That if you get to week 0 and you don't have a TV deal in place, you are in real jeopardy now. Because you can keep reassuring people that a deal's coming, but I think with the absolute disaster that Pac-12 football media days was for George Kliavkoff,
yeah,
and the bad press that came out of that, man, I think you've got to have a deal by week 0. And I'll also tell you, confidence is not high that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that George is going to have to table something, and he has not yet, from what I've been told the board of directors, this is our best deal. This is the best deal that we can get. We cannot go back out. I don't believe that he has said that yet because I haven't been told that yet. I know that he has passionately fought for a deal that this board of directors rejected 10 days ago, which is where I think the deal is imminent buzz came from. But I'm told that deal didn't even get filtered down to the rest of the presidents. So I think I think the Pac-12 is in a very precarious situation, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, and I think the trouble is that, again, just like you said, right? Week 0 is 32 days away or so, right? August 26th is week 0, the start of week 0. So that's just not a long time. If you think about business standards, if you're working in 5-day work weeks, I mean, that's really, again, 4 weeks that's just not a long time. And I don't mean to make it like panicky, but that really just by business standards. I mean, again, we do this show, but we're also in sales. We also do a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. Like, I can tell you personally, 4 weeks is just not a long time.
It goes by in a blink.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Roy Jones gives us $5. Hope you're doing well, champ. Zach Sloter. Zach, what's up? How are you? Leave our cornfields alone. Listen,
bro. I'm a big corn on the cob guy, dude. I know good corn when I eat it.
Field of dreams, bro.
Yeah.
If the Big 12 adds UConn, Colorado, and Arizona, who is the fourth school? Maybe Arizona State. It wouldn't be Gonzaga, would it? I think it is Gonzaga. And I told you 4 or 5 months ago, Gonzaga has a verbal offer to join the conference.
Yeah.
But I think Gonzaga is the perfect example of what we're talking about.
Gonzaga.
Why would you leave the WCC, which is you own the WCC?
Auto bid.
You own it. You dominate it. You're getting into the tournament just based on your conference schedule every single year. Why would you leave that conference if you are not getting a significantly better deal in the Big 12? I think it's
Gonzaga.
Frankly, I think it's the reason that Gonzaga is not in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Because it was a natural fit 12 months ago. It was a natural fit for Gonzaga to join the Pac-12.
Well, and I think obviously geographically it's perfect for both conferences, right? Obviously,
I would agree with that.
With the Pac-12 being a Pacific time zone conference, it makes perfect sense. But again, what did we start today's conversation with, right? Hey, the Big 12 is expanding. UConn's most likely coming. So Gonzaga is the UConn of the West, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference is UConn's got football, but Gonzaga, everyone forgets that Gonzaga's really strong in their athletic department. It's not like it's just the Drew Timmies or what was the Drew Timmies, and then they can't do anything else. So,
well, they only play field hockey and basketball, from what I understand.
Well,
at Gonzaga.
They're
it's very strong athletic department.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons to like Spokane. There's a lot of reasons to like the brand. They have money. They have donors. They have a fan base. There's nothing outside of the fact they don't have football, but that doesn't matter. You can be unbalanced.
Yeah.
I think that there's not a whole lot not to like about Gonzaga. And I think they would be in my opinion, they'd be a tremendous fit. And I think you need a lift if you are the Big 12.
Right.
Everything that you do has to be a lift. And, that's why in Big 12 country, that's why so many people use Buckshot from Bucked Up, the official energy provider of the Monty Show, because they know that when you pop a Buckshot, it gives you a mental lift, whether you're doing conference realignment.
Come on, bro. Admire my guy's work over here, bro.
Conference realignment, or you're playing golf like I do over the weekend.
Golf.
Man, pounded a Buckshot on Saturday, playing the absolute, you guys, you want to know how bad the front nine was Saturday? A certain somebody on this show snapped their driver at the shaft. Now,
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
I'm not trying to call anybody out. I am not the one who did that, who snapped their shaft off at the driver head.
What?
It was a bad front nine. I shot I think a 55 on the front nine. Cheers to a 36 on the back.
Do you know what that's like these days?
And why did I shoot a 36 on the back? Well, because I had buckshot.
Duh.
At the turn, after I threw my 52 wedge up onto a cart path, par 3, pull out the 9-iron, woefully short, bladed it. Like it's an elevated, bladed it. Ball went about 30 yards. Okay, I'm going to hit a 52 up onto the green. You got to land it on a hill to the left of the green and it'll roll down. Good old Uncle Monty hits a perfect 52-degree wedge.
Gotta get stroked.
Right on the hill, it rolls down to the cup within 3 feet.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It actually plugged on the hill because the hill was a little damp. Okay, no problem. Go up on.
Fucking ticks me the fuck off.
It's a little plugged. Not improving lies. Not on this show.
Right.
Took the 52 off the left side of the green. Hit the 52. Perfect Perfect fucking chip down onto the green. Here's the, just going to keep going right by the hole.
Vexes me.
Hey, where are you going?
Terribly vexed.
Into the bunker on the other side.
Oh.
Okay. It's the second hole. I'm fine.
I'll try to stay calm and not curse.
Now, because I'm a jackass, I took that same 52 down into the bunker.
Jackass.
Promptly scold that golf ball over the green again, right back to where I was before.
Ain't no
Now,
reset.
I don't know how many people know this. You don't need to put blades on a helicopter. Just take a 52-degree wedge and put it right on top of that thing and twirl it.
Here, take it. See ya.
I felt worse after I did that. Anyway, the point is, I had 55 on the front. But the reason that the buckshot works so well is it gives you a mental lift. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine, but it really, it's a little shot of brain power.
I'm for real.
And about 5-10 minutes later, you don't even notice it, but you just get some clarity. Stepped up onto the 10th tee and hit a monster drive. Hit a beautiful 52-degree wedge. Blew the birdie putt. Blew the par putt. Took a bogey. Picked up the ball. Walked over to the 13th. Promptly put it within 5 feet. Actually made the putt. Went on and had a great back nine.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm telling you, if you're not using Buckshot from Bucked Up Energy, the best energy provider in the business, in the description below, 6 free Buckshot samples sent right to your front door for free. Get it right now in the description below. Man, golf is trying. Tom Dean, after you snapped your shaft off, buck up. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? But because we play PXG, because my boy Garrett plays, is our PXG rep, I got a new driver coming this weekend.
So we're on, what is that, the 14th hole?
Yeah, 14.
14th at Canyons Golf in Park City, our home club.
Yeah.
He steps up there and smashes a ball. And I'm like, God damn. Like I'm watching the ball fly, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, let's go. And I turn around and he's got the head of his driver in one hand.
And while he's watching the ball, I can feel it, right? I hit it, you finish high. And right at the top of my finish, I felt a wiggle, like a waggle at the end of my driver's shaft. And I'm like, what was that? And I bring the thing around, and it's like it's dangling off the end of the shaft. And so I just, I dangle it, it falls off the shaft. I pick it up, turn around, he's looking at me, he's like, oh, okay.
Was amazing.
But
and you turn around and Jake's got the handle in the shaft in this hand and the driver head in this hand.
As you can see, there's not much hope for you left.
And Jay, he's like, how much is this going to cost?
Bro.
It was a great moment. It was truly a great moment. I loved it. Saul Goodman, it should be a tradition now. Every time Monty takes a bucked up, a fart sound show drop. Wow. Buckshot doesn't make you fart.
It doesn't actually.
At all.
But,
Jeff Woodworth, Buckshot even help you after you snap your shaft? Must be deer velvet.
I have to say. So I snapped the driver, finished that hole.
Yep.
Par 3 after that hole. The hole following that, 16. Absolute moonshot of a 4-wood. Love the PXG 4-wood, dude. Big fan.
Dude, unbelievable. It is, dude. It was, yeah. Tom Dean, wait, he kept playing after snapping his shaft? Yeah, and he hit his 3 and 4 woods like it wasn't nobody's business.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely, bro.
It was
amazing.
I think
the farthest I could hit the 4-wood, not to get too far off track, but the farthest I can hit my 4-wood's like 260 maybe. Something like that. That's probably as far as I can get that thing to go. And that's with a Kirkland Costco ball, by the way.
I'm the Kirkland,
which I'm a big fan.
Matt Ritson gives us $2.99 or $1.99 to say Pac-12 try to get a deal with Fox, but on disconnect. Fox I just don't think Fox has a big appetite for the Pac-12.
Yeah,
I don't. We have heard it repeatedly that Fox is just not there at all. JW, snapping one shaft sounds painful.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know it happened until I finished my follow-through. I felt nothing through the swing.
And you actually hit a good drive.
Yeah, I was surprised after I broke it. I was surprised that the driver had stayed connected enough for me to bring it back around.
Stay hard.
Yeah, But hey, again, and they don't sponsor the show. Like no affiliation,
none.
We swing PXG. And I just want people to know this because I had a great experience. Right, we always talk about crappy customer service. Had a great experience. Our guy Garrett here is our PXG rep in Utah, and sent him pictures. He emails those over. Literally send me a text. Yesterday sometime.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you should be getting an email or email updates about shipping.
Unbelievable.
Just like that.
Unbelievable. B says stay hard. Exactly right.
Yeah, dude.
Mark 234. Is this a Rick Pitino joke regarding snapping a shaft in an Italian restaurant? That's awesome.
Well played.
That's awesome. Aaron Wilson says Jakey broken shaft 2 holes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Exactly right. How many holes in a snapped off shaft? Dude.
Well, only one
Only
for that
one
shaft.
at the end. Do you count the hole in the driver head, though? Yeah, I got a hole in the head. Hey, now. Stop. All right. The official pizza of the Monty Show is Papa Murphy's Pizza. Had great Papa Murphy's Pizza over the weekend. And I try to tell people every weekend, get that Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 when you download the Papa Murphy's Pizza app and you order your beautiful calzone.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
Hey, don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.